Hello, my name is Miss Jones. I teach elementary school math, and welcome to my channel, Miss Math Jones. Today, we're going to be working on our third grade Eureka Module 5, Lesson 8 homework. The objective for the homework is to identify and represent shaded and non-shaded parts of one whole as fractions. Let's get started. The first part of our homework says to whisper the fraction of the shape that is shaded, then match the shape to the amount that is not shaded. So we're supposed to be matching the shape to the amount that's not shaded. So we're paying attention to the unshaded part. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at number 1. All right, now, how many total pieces, right? How many total pieces is shape number 1 made of? Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So shape number 1 is made up of 4 total pieces, which means that for shape number 1, we're counting by fourths. Now, we only have one answer choice that has fourths as the unit fraction, right? And we're looking at the amount that's not shaded. Well, how many pieces are not shaded? That's right. 3 pieces are not shaded, which means the fraction that represents the amount that's not shaded is 3/4. So we're going to draw a line from here all the way down to here. Okay, now let's look at number 2. How many pieces, right, makes up number 2? How many parts make up the whole of number 2? So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 pieces that make up the whole shape of number 2. So we have an answer choice of tenths, right? And how many tenths are not shaded? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tenths are not shaded. So we're going to draw a line from number 2 up here to 9 tenths. And you know what? I'm going to make that a different color. Let's make it green. Now let's look at number 3. How many pieces, okay, how many pieces is the whole shape of number 3 made of? 2, right? So if it's 2 pieces, then that means that our unit fraction that we're working with is halves. Halves, okay? And how many halves are not shaded? 1. 1/2 is not shaded. So we're going to go ahead and draw a line from number 3 to 1/2 because that's how much is not shaded. Remember, we're looking for the amount that's not shaded. All right, let's take a look at number 4. How many total pieces is number 4 made of? That's right, 3. So since it's made up of 3 pieces, then we're counting by thirds. We're counting by thirds. So we're looking for an answer choice of thirds. All right, and how many thirds are not shaded here? Let's see, 1, 2. 2/3 are not shaded. So we're going to draw a line from number 4 to the words 2/3 here. All right, now let's take a look at number 5. How many pieces is the whole shape of number 5 made up of? Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's made of 7 pieces. So that means that the unit fraction we're working with here is sevenths. Now you see why I always have words floating across the screen. It's sloppy when I write it. Sevenths. Okay, and how many sevenths are not shaded? How many sevenths are not shaded? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sevenths are not shaded. So we're going to draw a line from number 5 to the words 6 sevenths down there. Okay, now let's take a look at number 6. How many total pieces is the shape, the whole shape of number 6 made of? How many total pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 total pieces, which means the unit fraction that we are working with here is fifths. Fifths. And how many fifths are not shaded? We're looking for the amount of fifths that are not shaded. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fifths are not shaded. So I'm going to draw a line from number 6 to the words 4 fifths up here. All right, and let's look at number 7 here. Number 7. How many total pieces is number 7 made of? How many total pieces is the whole shape of number 7 made of? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that means the unit fraction that we're working with here is elevenths. Elevenths. I'm not going to write that across the screen. It's going to be huge. Elevenths. Now, how many elevenths are not shaded? How many elevenths are not shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 elevenths. So I'm going to draw a line from number 7 to the words 10 elevenths right there. And last but not least, let's look at number 8. How many total pieces make up the whole shape of number 8? How many total pieces make up the whole shape of number 8? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so since it's made up of 6 pieces, that means we're counting by sixths. Okay, and how many sixths are not shaded? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sixths are not shaded. So I'm going to draw a line from number 8 to the words 5 sixths. All right, now you may want to pause your video to make sure that your answers match my answers. We're moving on to number 9. 9 says that each strip represents one whole. Write a fraction to label the shaded and unshaded parts. So first we're going to count to see how many parts the whole is made of, and then we're going to label the unit fraction. So when we count it, we're not going to write the numbers in there, but we are going to write the unit fractions in there. All right, but I'm just going to put the numbers on the screen so you can see them as we count them. Don't write the numbers in there, only write the unit fractions, okay? So let's look at the rectangle at the top, and let's count how many parts this whole rectangle is made up of. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this rectangle is made up of 5 parts. Since it's made up of 5 parts, then the unit fraction that we're working with here is fifths. So I want you to write fifths out to the side to remind you that the unit fraction that we're working with here is fifths. And then we're going to label each part with the unit fraction 1/5. Let's go ahead and label each part, each of the 5 parts, with the unit fraction 1/5. So we're going to label each part, and you are writing this in each square that this whole rectangle is made of. You're going to label each of the 5 parts with the unit fraction 1/5. All right, now that you have that done, it asks us to label the shaded and unshaded parts. So first, let's label the shaded part. Well, how many shaded pieces do we have? Just one. So out of the 5 parts, how many parts are shaded? That's right. 1 out of the 5 parts, or 1/5, is shaded. 1 out of the 5 parts, or 1/5, is shaded. Now let's look at the parts that are unshaded. Unshaded means not shaded. The prefix un means not shaded. All right, so let's count the parts that are not shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 5 total parts are not shaded. So we write that as the fraction 4/5 because 4 out of the 5 total parts are not shaded. Now make sure you have that written down on your paper, and if you need to pause right now, go ahead and do so. Let's move on to the next rectangle. All right, this is a long rectangle, but it's still one whole because it's one whole rectangle that's separated or partitioned into a lot of different parts. So first we're going to count to see how many parts this whole rectangle is made of. Don't write the numbers in here yet. We're just counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means that this whole rectangle is made up of 12 parts. Well, since it's made up of 12 parts, then the unit fraction that we're working with here is twelfths. Go ahead and write twelfths next to this rectangle. Write that word next to the rectangle to remind you that the unit fraction we're working with is twelfths. Now, we're going to write 1/12 in each part because each part is equivalent to 1/12. Each part. So let's go ahead and write 1/12 in each part. Each part. Each of the 12 parts, we're writing 1/12 in each one because that's the unit fraction that we're working with. 1/12 in each part. Make sure you're writing it in each part. Now at this point, you should have 1/12 written 12 times because it's 12 parts. Now, it asks us to label the shaded and unshaded parts. So first, let's count how many shaded parts we have. 1. So how many twelfths are shaded? 1 out of the 12 parts is shaded. So we write that as 1/12. Now let's count how many parts are unshaded. Unshaded, not shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 parts out of the total 12 parts are unshaded. So we write that as 11 twelfths because 11 out of the 12 total parts are not shaded, are unshaded. Now, if you need to pause your video to make sure your work matches my work, go ahead and do so now. Let's take a look at number 10. Number 10 says, Carlia finished 1/4 of her homework on Saturday. What fraction of her homework has she not finished? Draw and explain. All right, it's a word problem. And it says fraction, so I'm going to draw a model. Carlia finished 1/4 of her homework on Saturday. That's a clue, which means the unit fraction that we're working with is fourths. Now, how many little squares should I draw to represent fourths? Right, 4. And each square should have 1/4 in it. So let's go ahead and draw a model. And we're going to make it a fraction strip, right? I'm going to draw a model, fraction strip, and it's going to be made of 4 little boxes. And each box should have 1/4 in it. So let's draw a model that looks like this. Okay, you have 4 boxes, and each box should have 1/4 in it. We're making a fraction strip. Okay. Now, she finished 1/4 on Saturday. So 1/4. So I'm just going to shade one of these fourths, right? And I'm going to make a note that she did that Saturday. Draw a little arrow. She did that Saturday. 1/4 on Saturday. Okay. We have that shaded in. We have a little note to ourselves. She did that Saturday. Just that one. Just 1/4. Now, what fraction of her homework has she not finished? Okay. What fraction has she not finished? Well, let's count to see how many fourths of her homework that she has not finished. All right, so 1, 2, 3. That means that she has not finished 3 out of the total of 4 parts of her homework. So she's not finished 3/4 of her homework. So make sure that your work looks like my work. And you may want to pause your video to make sure that you have everything written correctly on your paper, including your explanation of she's not finished 3/4 of her homework. Now let's take a look at number 11. Number 11 says Jerome cooks 8 cups of oatmeal for his family. They eat 7/8 of the oatmeal. What fraction of the oatmeal is uneaten? Draw and explain. Okay, a word problem. It asks us about a fraction, which means we need to draw a fraction strip. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Jerome cooks 8 cups of oatmeal for his family. 8. 8. So that means that the unit fraction we're working with is eighths. So I need 8 little squares, and I need to write the unit fraction of 1/8 in each square. So let's go ahead and create a fraction strip of eighths. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. Okay, so I have a whole fraction strip of eighths. 8/8 equal 1 whole. Okay, now They eat 7/8 of oatmeal. So I'm going to shade in 7 of these eighths. Let's do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to write a little note to myself. They ate 7/8. That's my little note. That's how much they ate. So I drew my model to represent the first sentence. Jerome cooks 8 cups of oatmeal for his family. They eat 7/8 of the oatmeal. I shaded in 7/8 and wrote a note to myself. They ate 7/8, and that's what you should be doing. Every time you have a word problem, you need to draw something that represents each part. Each sentence of the problem should be represented some type of way on that paper. And finally, we have the question. What fraction of the oatmeal is uneaten? Well, what's left? That 1/8 is left. That's uneaten oatmeal. That represents uneaten oatmeal, oatmeal that they did not eat. So that means that the fraction of uneaten oatmeal was 1/8. That's what you're going to write as your explanation. The fraction of the uneaten oatmeal was 1/8. Now, you may need to pause the video to make sure that your paper looks like my screen. Please do so. Well, look at that. We have completed lesson 8 homework. Congratulations. You might want to give yourself a pat on the back or a hand clap, whichever one you like. Now, as always, I hope that this video has helped you to understand your homework better and to complete it correctly. Now, I hope that you are having a great night, great day, whatever time you're watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.